Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Gabriel, aka Civil. I'm back with another video, guys. And today we're going to be talking about if Manny Pacquiao is done. Is his career over with? Did we just watch the last fight that he'll ever be a part of? Or is this opportunity for him to rise from the ashes again? Let's talk about that in this video. Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the video. So today I want to take some time out to talk about if Manny Pacquiao is done, if his boxing career is over with. So Saturday night we saw him lose to Yordenis Ugas by unanimous decision. It was a decisive win in my book. I felt like Manny Pacquiao started off the fight early, being explosive, kind of displaying that speed that he always displays. But one thing I noticed in this fight is he didn't really have great footwork. Everywhere he went, Ugas was there. For the most part, Ugas kept him at bay with his jab, controlled the fight pretty much from the beginning to the end. I thought Manny Pacquiao tried to pick up the pace, but he seemed very frustrated. Every time Ugas would go to the body, I would notice Manny Pacquiao would complain to the ref, and the ref would kind of say, hey, keep your shots up or I'm going to have to take a point away. To me, it was kind of like the ref was trying to control how the fight was going, because it's like those shots weren't really that low. It's just Manny Pacquiao was bothered by those body shots. And so that's something that I noticed throughout the fight, is that those body shots were bothering him. The jab was keeping him at bay, and he got hit with a lot of straight rights all night. And so that's something that I noticed. And so kind of just assessing this fight in comparison to his last fight 2 years ago with Keith Thurman, I felt like in the Keith Thurman fight, I think Manny Pacquiao had a lot more success early, obviously with that early knockdown. But even in that fight, we saw him fade, and Thurman really began to put a hurting on him and actually hurt him throughout the fight multiple times. But he even showed that he had a second gear later on in catching Thurman with a nice body shot, which bought him some time. And really, even in the rest of that round, I actually felt like Thurman won the rest of that round. So I can kind of see the signs that Manny Pacquiao was slowing down in that last fight. And even years ago with the Jeff Horn fight, I could see the signs that Manny Pacquiao was slowing down. And so kind of going into this Errol Spence fight, just in retrospect, looking at the Ugas fight and seeing how Errol Spence had to pull out of that fight, it makes me wonder if Manny Pacquiao would have ended up getting beaten really badly by Errol Spence, or even getting stopped. And so that's kind of what plays in the back of my mind, kind of in that little space of what would have happened. So that kind of plays in the back of my mind of like, what would have happened if Errol Spence didn't get injured, and would Manny Pacquiao, maybe he would have lost the fight, in a much more devastating fashion if Errol Spence never got injured. And so that kind of plays in the back of my mind. And really all this fight really tells us is that even if Manny Pacquiao can come back to fight again, I think his days at fighting at the top level at the welterweight division is over with. I don't feel like he can come back and beat an Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, and maybe not even beat a Shawn Porter or a Keith Thurman at this point, based on where he is currently. He was doing a lot of complaining at the end of the fight about, his legs being tight. He didn't have, the same footwork in this fight as he did in the Keith Thurman fight 2 years ago. And so I think age has finally caught up to Manny Pacquiao. And in my humble opinion, I think he should just call it quits. I think he had a great career. I feel like if he moves forward now with, where he was, what he's doing in the Philippines and trying to run for president in the Philippines, I think that would be a perfect place for him to, kind of just end his boxing career and focus on that, which seems to have been his focus for X amount of years, giving back to his country and giving back to his people. So I think that's a better place for Manny Pacquiao at this point. I don't want to see him come back and get knocked out in brutal fashion, similar to that Marquez fight. I think, honestly, I don't think he can rise from the ashes from a knockout these days than back then. And so that's what I think would happen. That's what I think should happen, moving forward. Manny Pacquiao, I think he's a great fighter, had a great career, but I think he should call it quits at this point, not only for his family, not only for himself, but also just for his future, because we've seen too many boxers in their career, their mind's not right. They're not there physically and emotionally and mentally for their families. And so it's like they've given everything that they have to the sport. I think Manny Pacquiao has given enough to the sport at this point. His legacy is cemented. Whether he loses or wins any more fights at this point, it doesn't really matter. I think he should just call it quits, and you know, that should be it. That's just my take on whether Manny Pacquiao should retire or not. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section. But until next time, it's your boy Civil. Peace.